If you're a small guard, you've only got two options: fight or die. Coaches aren't going to give you minutes, and you won't get noticed solely for your genetics. You either stand out through pure domination or get overlooked. As a small player, here's what you need to know: you're going to get blocked. It's going to happen. Throughout the course of your basketball career, you are going to get swatted thousands of times. But you got to keep attacking. You got to be like Rocky was in his first fight against Apollo.
I saw you beat that man like I never saw no man get beat before, and the man kept coming after you.
You have to have grit. As a smaller basketball player, you are at a disadvantage, and you need to take that at face value and just run with it. You can't change it, so you might as well plow through anything in your way. The next thing I want to mention is that you can't train the same way the big guys do. The skills that they're working on may be more beneficial to them than they are to you. For example, you won't see me banging it down low in the post all the time. That's not my game. That's not my style. I'm more of a shooter, right? You need to work on the skills that small guards need. That could be shiftiness, footwork, and creativity. The next tip I have for you is to think of basketball like a job. Instead of getting paid money, you get paid with minutes. And to earn your money, you need to have a valuable skill. For example, in a business, that would be sales, marketing, budgeting, you name it. And in basketball, your special skill might be shooting, ball handling, passing, etc. So the point I'm trying to make is, since you're a small guard, you can't get by just being an all-around player. Master a skill where size doesn't matter. Pause. For me, I chose shooting. You don't need to be tall to shoot a basketball. And heck, you don't even need to jump high. Lord knows I can't jump. What you do need is technical skill and a quick release. But that stuff is trainable. Now, whatever you decide to choose, make the decision that you will become the best in your area at that one skill. Think about when you're at a big family reunion, right? You're with your dad or your uncles, whoever, and they just start riffing stories from their childhood. Be the guy that people tell their kids about. People won't tell their kids about the guy that was okay at everything. They talk about the guy who could do one thing better than anyone else. But of course, I still have to say, have a good enough skill level in the secondary skills compared to your primary one, just so you can compete. Now, if you're unsure how to actually set up your training workouts for each skill, don't worry, I got you. Check the top link in the description. You can buy my favorite workouts from the beginner level all the way up to the advanced workouts. Understand, you will have to fight for every inch of what you want. You will have to work so much harder than the big guys do. I've had to work maybe 100 times harder than everybody else just to get to the same spot that they are at. That's the cold hard truth. It sucks, but that's just how it is. But what I've noticed, as time goes on, maybe about sophomore year, you could really tell the difference. You can't really tell in middle school and freshman year, but once sophomore year hits, that's when I noticed the difference. Over time, their lack of work ethic really catches up to them, and your very good work ethic rewards you. Now, my favorite player of all time is Kobe Bryant. And one of the things that he always said was, if your competition trains once a day, train twice a day. The big guys have the advantage. It's unfortunate. And it's true. But boo-hoo, cry me a river and just get in the gym, bro. Now it's time to talk about the tactical strategies. Let's get into it. Be a pest and be willing to put your body on the line. I've had to face this type of player many times in my basketball career. And let me tell you something. Their height doesn't matter. If you're enough of a pest, you can offset that. You can't avoid contact. That's one important lesson I've had to learn through my basketball career. One of the biggest lessons that I learned actually came from my trainer when he taught me this simple idea that is not talked about enough in basketball. And if it was, shoot, there would be a lot of players getting a lot more points nowadays. Be the first one to bump. Think about it like this. If you're on your line going to the basket and the defender bumps you, you're off your line. On the flip side, if you bump your defender first, you create slight separation. It's that simple. So don't try to bump them in the air going for a layup. Bump them before you go up and then jump for the layup. It's not rocket science, but it's not taught enough. And as our rec league basketball coaches always taught us, you gotta get low. You gotta stay low on defense. Shout out Nikki Katz. And as I said, stay low on defense, but also stay low on offense. You have to use that low center of gravity because that's all you got. They might be stronger than you. They might be bigger than you, but if you get lower than them, you still have a fighting chance. Focus on footwork. If you gain fast and efficient footwork, every other part of your game will level up. I lie to you not. I have broken people's ankles with the jab step. I'm not lying to you. Having clean footwork opens up a lot of doors for you. You don't even have to move from where you're at and you can still move defenders. I teach this to the players I train all the time. If you have a strong jab step, defenders will have a hard time guarding you. And it's in our basketball nature. Whenever we hear the squeak of somebody's shoe, we twitch. And a jab step does exactly that. It creates that squeak. Use it to your advantage, because once the defender twitches slightly one side, you can go the other way. It doesn't take much for you to get an advantage. Now, there's one thing in basketball that is preached all the time, but I personally disagree with. There's this teaching that you got to be smooth in whatever you do on the basketball court. I don't buy it. A lot of the points in my basketball career didn't necessarily look pretty. There was a lot of herky-jerky motions for me to create space. I'm not that explosive. I'm not tall. I can't jump very high, so I had to be unpredictable. I was unorthodox in my approach, and that's how I got some buckets. Mike Tyson, one of the greatest fighters of all time, was short compared to the other heavyweights he was fighting. Now, of course, he was extremely strong, but Mike Tyson wouldn't be Mike Tyson without his amazing footwork. Have different finishing pickups. If you don't want to get blocked every time you go up for a layup, you need to have different pickups. You got to have the ability to alternate the type of layup you do and your release point. If you can only do underhand layups, that's a problem. If you can only do overhand layups, that's a problem. Without variation in your layup timings, defenses are going to catch on. You have to give yourself options by being capable of using both hands and using different angles and speeds to get the shots up. Now, what that means for you guys is you might have to practice wide-angled layups, or maybe even inside-hand finishes. Or maybe that means getting the timing on your layups wrong on purpose, just to change everything up. You must have a quick release. That is not a debate. A lot of people will try to debate me on that. Oh, you don't need a quick release. Some guys get by without it. Yeah, because they're the exception, dude. Focus on increasing the speed of your release. Please. Your pump fakes need to be fast, too. Something that my trainer taught me about a year ago was that your pump fakes don't have to be over-exaggerated. Sometimes all it takes is a look at the rim, and you can get your defender jumping. Another bonus tip that helped me during my games was I started pump faking before layups, especially on the fast break when I had somebody trailing me. Increase your basketball IQ so you have the ability to see the opportunities in front of you. Being able to read the defense is essential for any basketball player, especially small guards. Think about it. All the work you put in will be for nothing if you don't know when and how to implement it in your games. That's why I always preach practicing at game speed, practicing at game scenarios, because that's what's going to prepare you for the game time. One thing I remember from my old baseball days was sometimes I would go to the baseball fields with my dad and he'd start hitting me grounders, right? He'd always make up game situations. He'd always say something like, all right, there's one out and a man on second. You field a grounder at third. What do you do? Then I'd have to field it and look off the man on second and then make a routine throw to first. Why don't we do that for basketball? I think we're missing out on a huge opportunity to boost our comprehension and understanding of the game. Now, the best way to improve your basketball IQ is to watch film. But a lot of guys struggle with knowing how to watch film. Luckily for you, I made a full guide talking about exactly that. But as always, keep God first. Stay blessed, bro.